Number 2, you don't need your factory and starport as you think you do. We like to build the factory early just so we don't forget to start it, but we actually don't build the starport straight away. So second gas timing is fine, factory timing is fine, but we don't want to start our starport until 3 minutes 30. So we're actually going to start that way before that in this game. Now notice this reactor only starts 1 marine, does start another. Second barracks, not starting a marine. Starport goes down, most common mistake with the 211. What a lot of people don't realize, because this is a very easy part to fuck up in the build. Marines take priority. Number 1. Stim goes down before starport. Also very important. So that starport doesn't need to be down for another 14 seconds or 13 seconds from when it started, 12 seconds from now. So you want to start stim, keep up marine production, and then you'll find you naturally have the money for this. Yes, I am. Ask on stream. Why do people keep spamming me questions today? It's really fucking annoying. At least this one doesn't seem to know I'm live, so that's something. Anti-gay SCV? What are you talking about, Protiz? It's sexual harassment, and it's not doing your job at the same time. It's nothing to do with being gay or not. Everyone, you know, it's about consenting. Jesus Christ. Come on! Come on! Yeah, and the Marines just aren't building. We're going for a really early third barracks. So good points from Bullia there. So the rest of the build looked kind of okay. Like, it looks like pretty consistent SCV production. However, oh no, we're building depots behind our main base, and we don't have a depot builder. Big Terran mistake, guys. So, depots. After your main wall is done, all your depots should be walling off your natural against Protoss and Zerg, because they have short-range units that will ruin you until a bit later in the game. And you also want to have a depot builder. So rather than constantly having to pull SCVs off minerals and then queue them back to minerals, this is a good habit with your production structures. But once you get to 38 supply and you start building depots non-stop, you actually want to make sure these SCVs just constantly build depots. So you go depot, you come back every now and then, you tell it to build another depot, then another depot. Once the wall's done, you'll choose a nice big wide open area where you don't want to build production, somewhere like here, and you'll build a nice big grid of depots, so it's always in the same area. Whereas what off-meta man is having to do is go back to the main, build depot here, build depot here, build depot here, and each time he's having to select workers off minerals to do it. Means the moment the action heats up, it's very easy to forget. Very, very easy. Yeah, not having a wall off means just about anything running in could kill you as well. So that's really nasty. Awesome. And yeah, we're a little bit too focused on trying to drop here by the look of things. So we're trying to do a sort of tank push follow-up. Let's see. But yeah, we really should be... Let's see. We're going up to a 4th barracks. And now a 5th barracks and double engineering base. So it looks like a 2-base all-in attack. But we're going to start with like a heavy pressure here. And... we still haven't scouted to see if the Zerg has a 3rd, so I'm not sure we realize the Zerg has that 3rd in the bottom in this game. A lot of the Marines aren't with the army. They're all just sitting off to the right. So I'm not sure if the army was control group there. I don't think it was. Let's check. Some of the units were control grouped, but not all of them. Okay, so the army was a bit disorganized there for sure. Faux show. Yeah, so a bit of a weird push here. Just generally speaking, after your first 2-on-1, you don't really want to do another push until you're really ready to commit to it. And you really want to build to that next plan. So I think we talked enough about how to tighten up the 2-on-1. Make sure you have the wall, non-stop build Marines. You don't need to start the starport until after Stim started and you've got non-stop Marine production going. And then you'd be able to hit with the full 16 Marines in those medevacs. From this point, we are going to be going 1-1 upgrades, but we forgot the armor, and now it looks like we're going to be building into a very late 3rd base, which is okay, but if we're going to do that 5 barracks before 3rd command center, you want to try and go for a big 2-base push. So this army here, pretty awesome army right now, so we should be pushing with it. But once again, no wall off makes me just so uncomfortable, and because we're giving the Zerg a lot of time, the Zerg is now able to build up and is actually going crazy on economy, and we're just chilling and giving them all the time in the world. And we don't have a real clear idea of what our push timing is. So even though we're saturating our 3rd, There's no second factory or extra barracks up. Also, random depots and random building placement. A lot of the buildings are on diagonals and they're clumped up and they're all sorts of awkward spots. Notice tanks can't get out of the main anymore because we've got like an armory blocking a gas. We've got depots behind the mineral line. We've got these buildings. Remember that tanks need a double space gap. That's not big enough. So yeah, you need to build your buildings in neat rows. So I would often go barracks, factory, starport, and then I would go like a barracks, 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 a barracks, barracks, factory, or something like that. There'd be nice thick gaps between them so you can move everything around a lot easier, and that'll really help you out. So let's just talk to chat for a minute while we watch the rest of this game from off MetaMan's camera, and see what's going on. If you get doom dropped or base traded, you quickly lose the ability to produce anything, as you are supply capped faster if you put all your depots in one spot. Well, base traded doesn't matter where they are because they'll kill them all anyway. Doom dropped, yeah. So protect that area. Identify weakness and shut it down. Just build some turrets there. I mean, if they're on top of your production, you've already fucked up, right? So this is something you'll often see pro players do. Whereas like rather than saying, oh, let's assume this is going to go down, you say, let's make sure this doesn't go down. Because that gives you focus, right? Rather than saying, oh, bad shit will happen, let's just spread my shit everywhere and disorganize it and hurt my play overall because everything's kind of spread in random areas. Let's make my play super functional. Let's put all of my weaknesses in one area and then I can focus on defending those areas and I've got this. Because your Terran production is like the most sacred place, right? If your production goes down, that area gets compromised. Normally your game is dead. Normally you're pretty screwed. Oh my god, god-awful engagement from the Zerg. Doesn't have the Hydra move speed upgrade, but it has so much money it doesn't matter. Oh no. Oh, this game's gonna be gross. This is gonna be really fun to watch in the background.
Actually, the Terran said that he doesn't have any real follow-up plan to the 2-1-1. So actually, perhaps relies on the 2-1 to do a lot of damage. So perhaps we can give him at least some sort of a follow-up plan. What should be done next?
Sorry, what was that? It was he should have a follow-up plan after the 2-on-1.
That was his question. Was like he has it, how to tighten up his 2-1-1, and then what's a good follow-up plan for after the 2-1-1? Like, what do you move on to?
Okay, well, we mentioned both. It's either you go for a 3-base macro, and then you do a big 3-base push, which is like 2 factories, 7 barracks. Or you just do the 2-base push, which is 5 barracks and 1 factory. Either way, Biotank is a pretty good composition against everything. And you just want to make sure, yeah, you're going for those big pushes. So it's either the big push of 5 barracks, with just maybe 1 engineering bay for +1, but you don't even need that. It's just a lot of marines, a lot of tanks, and a couple of medevacs. Or you go for the big 3-base setup, and then you're kind of playing the big macro game. Lots of big constant Biotank pushes, but mainly centered around one big one with 2 upgrades. The important thing there is to, as I said, think about your transition. And this is the same for all Terran builds and all builds in general, is you need to think about what order happens after your opening. So your opening never changes. But what happens next, you can shift. So is it 3rd command center first? When do your gases go down on your natural expansion? Is a big one. We'll just keep watching from here. I talked about this a lot recently anyway, it's fine. So when do your gases go down your natural? When does your 3rd CC go down? When do you go double engineering bay? And when do you get up to 5 barracks for your full 2-base production? And that's the big question you have to ask yourself. And that'll be massive. So that's huge. In your 2-on-1 video, you say you need to get the starport by 320. I don't think I say that. I'm pretty sure I say 330. Let's check. Let's find out. Let's see if something needs to be updated. This show is fantastic. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more as a beginner who has some this or anything because I don't think anything's changed resource-wise. So we are looking at one of my old pig dailies, guys. Oh, I dropped that real early, don't I? 3 minutes 20, and we're doing good. Wow. That's very fast. And we want to build a starport.
and it has to be down before 3 minutes 20. If it's down
Wow, I
before
used to
3
do a
minutes 20,
really,
we're
really
doing
fast
good.
2-on-1. Yeah, I mean, that's very
And here,
ambitious.
you're gonna kind of
Obviously,
have,
you want to adjust
a
things for
little
your
bit of
own
a battle
timings.
between
Like, you can
SCV
get 3
production and
minutes
marine
20 if you're
production,
like
so
beyond our
it's not the
innovation.
end of the world if you lose,
That's
like,
funny
a
because I
second or
never
two
hit.
on the
I never hit
SCVs,
at 3
a
minutes
second or
20 more. I'd be like
two,
3:27 or
on the
something.
Marines.
Um,
But unlike later in the game where it's okay to queue up more units, you need to really just only queue up the units that are building at that moment. There should never be extra units queued
cool.
during this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
also about the order. Steam first, starport later.
Yeah, as long as it's stim first, starport later, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Like, because in this video, I'm constantly building Marines. There's like, okay, there's a very slight downtime there for like half a second. That's fine. And then I do start stim, and then I start the starport. Yeah, as long as you're building Marines. And like my starport's like 323, 324 in that video. So it's like, it's only a few seconds fast. Like I say 320 out loud, but yeah. As long as you get the order correct, and that's always the most important thing in any build order, guys. It's about getting the order of things down. This is why I always say, like, yeah, game time is a kind of okay to have down. You can look at them. But the more important thing is this happens, then this happens, then this happens. If you can get the order down like a list, you will crush it with a build because you'll play it to your own level and you'll improve it at your own pace. That's why if you guys look at my spawning tool build write-ups, I always write it in a very specific way where every single kind of build, every single building has its own order so that you can't screw it up. So this is that 2-on-1 build, for instance, right? Check this out. So it's very important we remember to do things in their own order. So what does the barracks do? Barracks adds a tech lab, then adds stim and marine production immediately. When stim's done, we can start combat shields. Do we need to start that straight away? No, there could be a bit of downtime, doesn't matter. But it's important here, we've got this exact order. This happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And if we build the factory on 23 rather than 22, does it matter? No, as long as we remember to go factory and second gas after that second depot. As long as we remember to get this depot right around 36 to 40 supply, that's actually important. Then we go for the factory, then we do, you know, we have this whole, then the factory finishes, we start the starport, etc., etc. 16 Marines, 2 medevacs, stim almost finished by 5 minutes. Go and pressure your opponent and go from there. So learning to write down your own builds and read them and analyzing those details is really important because it'll help you guys actually find all of those tiny little details that make you a much more successful player. And all right, cool. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Or was there any other things in chat that we wanted to talk about, or just shit you guys want to add in yourself?
He was having issues with banelings, he said, so maybe working on split micro. I also notice he chooses to make orbital commands on these exterior bases instead of planetaries, and I think that makes him kind of vulnerable to counterattacks.
I think the banding is the issue that he doesn't have a wall, so Banes can just come in.
Well, it's kind of funny as well. Like, yeah, he's fighting out of range of his tanks, which is obviously bad against the Banes, but he's still taking like the sickest trades ever. Banelings like aren't the problem. It's 95 drones is the problem. This is like, this Zerg can just throw banelings at him for days. Really great point about the planetaries. Always after your third base, it should be planetaries on your expansions. I love there's a floating command center on the left of the map. I know I'm joking. Obviously that lifted off the base. It's just really funny because it looks like a scouting command center like a mech player would use their barracks for. What else we got in here? Okay, yeah, tons of command centers going down. One of the big problems as well is never stopped SCV production for like the longest time and never transitioned workers. So a really cool mechanical habit you guys should always remember, especially if you're a returning player. 8 minutes 30 roughly, transfer workers out of your main. So you drop your main saturation down to about 8 workers. So you should have 16 on your main, right? So how do you drop it down? How do you drop it down? You know, you just drop it to 8. Doesn't matter if it says out of 10. A lot of people look at that number too much. Fuck the numbers. The numbers is stupid. The other mineral patches, 50 minerals. It's about to run out anyway, right here at 830, 840. So you would grab about 8 workers, send them over to your third or fourth. Obviously, in this game, we already have more than enough workers for 3 base, or we have enough easily. We also have a bad habit in this game, and this is a habit a lot of Terran players have, and this is a great little tidbit for the newbie stream. Okay, guys, I'm gonna talk to you guys about mineral patches, just for a real sec. This is a big mineral patch. This is a little mineral patch. This is a big mineral patch. This is a little mineral patch. I'm gonna get rid of my camera for a second. If I can find which camera source it's using. Thanks, Oily Seal. Thanks for 17-month resub, dude. Oh my god, where the fuck is the... It's like the 26th webcam source I'm gonna try? You're kidding me. No? Okay, I swear I tried everyone. Did I turn it off and not even realize? I did it for a second?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Since we're all on delay, we can't just tell you where it was.
There we go. Okay, so heavy patch, light patch, heavy patch, light patch. What's the difference? It's about double the minerals. The heavy patches. The heavy patches are also closer, so a mule, which lives on a timed life, will usually get 1 extra trip. That's plus 25 minerals if you drop it on a heavy patch rather than a light patch. So the close patches and the close patches are almost always the heavy patches, all right? So if you drop your mules always on your heavy patches, you're usually going to get plus 25 minerals a mule. Not just that, if you drop it on the light patch, remember mules mine at the same time as SCVs. They only block other mules from mining. Each mule mines about 200 minerals. You drop 3 mules on a light patch and it's gone. And then guess what? You've got less mineral patches your SCVs can mine from, which should not be happening this early on your natural. But our player here has already done that to 2 of their patches because they've dropped at least 1 mule, maybe even 2 on 2 of their light patches, and that's why there's only bloody 4 mineral patches left. Actually, they've done it to... I don't even know why it says out of 12 here. Oh, there is a 5th patch there. Okay, so... oh, no, there's 2 far patches there. Yeah. So 2 of the patches disappeared because they got muled. And that means the SCVs aren't able to mine. So you should always mule on the close heavy patches, and you should always do it on your newest base rather than your earliest base. So as soon as you get your natural down, drop mules there, not in your main. Once your third's down, drop mules there, not in your natural. And always try to spread them, if you can remember, across the heavy patches so they all mine out about the same time. It's huge. It's huge, and none of us pay attention to it. And you guys should call me out on it because I just drop them all on the same patch half the time lately as well. I still drop them on the close heavy patches, but they'll just spread out and they will mine out the other patches just because I haven't focused on it in a while. But definitely something where you don't want to be dropping them on those far patches, or we just lose income and mining for no reason. So cool little thing you guys should focus on. Ow! Oh my god. What the hell? The siege tanks just killed their friend. That's fucked up, man. Cool. So that's just a little tidbit there as well. Let's go into another replay, shall we? Let's watch this one real quick. Oh, this man remembers. Do you remember? I remember. Okay. I mean, this game's disgusting. We're just gonna get overwhelmed. Yeah, let's hop out. Let's hop out. Ugh.